wale maofisa wetu wale wa provincial administration tumeshirikiana sana na tutaendelea kushirikiana ndio tukomeze hii. Asante sana na karibu sana. Thank you so much. Karibu sana
Rama. County Women MP Madam Liza Chelule, karibu.
Asante sana Your Excellency, our Deputy President, governors wote ambao wamefika hapa, senators na MPs na administration kwa ujumla. Nataka kuchukua hii nafasi Your Excellency kushukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kukutanisha sisi kwa mkutano ya maana siku ya leo. Mambo ambayo tunaenda kuongea is a pertinent issue in our country, and I really want to thank you Your Excellency for actually being committed. Such a great commitment. Hatuwezi kujifanya hatuone. Tunasema shukrani sana. Mimi kama mwakilishi ya kina mama, na sisemi ninawakilisha kina mama peke yao, nawakilisha wote pamoja na wanaume. Your Excellency, shida ya pombe imelete shida kubwa sana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Imelete shida kwa kina mama. Most of the women are not giving birth now because mambo ya pombe ina affect wanaume sana. Kwa hivyo mambo ya population tuna expect wakati itakapofanywa research in future, wakati huu itaenda chini sababu watoto hawazaliwi tena. Kuna wazazi ambaye hawalali makwao ikifika jioni sababu vijana na mambo ya pombe hata haiwapatii nafasi wazazi wao wakae kwa manyumba zao. Kwa hivyo this is a pertinent issue, and as we go forward, I know most of these youths are addicts na ni wagonjwa kwa sahihi. I would really request and propose if we can have in every county a rehabilitation center which will be sustained by the county government. By those few remarks, Your Excellency, you are most welcome to Nakuru, and we really like the commitment that you have for this country. Thank you very much. My name is Liza Chelule, the women rep for Nakuru. Thank you.
Sante, our Senator Tabitha.
Your Excellency, our Governor, CSAs, Members of Parliament, all protocols observed, I want to take this opportunity and welcome everybody who has come here today to Nakuru County as the Senator of Nakuru County. I want also to congratulate His Excellency the DP for how he's taken this war against the illicit brews and drugs, because we need to protect the industry of alcohol, because the industry of alcohol represents our economy, works for our economy, and stands for our culture and our social life. And as we speak, as we wait to pass the finance bill, the target that the alcohol people have been given is about 118 billion on excise tax alone. So we are talking of, if we succeed in this, our government will realize the tax that they wait to get from the alcohol industry. Is either good or bad, but I've been working in that industry, so I know what it means when we say of the illicit brews. We need to fight them, and we need to be united, all of us, because they are made by people. The illicit brews are made by people. And maybe some of us are the people who support that. So let us all work hard and help the G on his mission to ensure that this industry works like the other parts of the world, the international world. You know, people are saying, we want to beat alcohol. We want to regulate the alcohol industry like the other parts of the world. Thank you, you're most welcome. And I'll be very happy to get to be in, to be in this conversation, because I know the alcohol people are waiting for me to see how, especially the bar owners who are saying the police are really harassing them, even the ones who are complying, they are really being harassed. So here we are. Rigji, thank you so much, welcome, so that we can ensure this industry is regulated, to ensure it can realize its target that is being given by this government. Thank you so much. Karibuni, asante.
Asante, Senator Tabitha, for speaking for all players in the industry. Your Excellency, you know it's not all leaders who have the courage to do what you're doing. Yesterday, many of the leaders walilala hapa jana because waliambiwa unakuja and we need to be early. So when we met at the lounge hapo first floor where we were sleeping, kulikuwa na watu walikuwa wameonja kidogo. Waliposikia tunakuja mkutano leo, one of them told us, na kabla muanze mkutano muulize Mutudho pale kupigana na pombe ilimfikisha. So and I see a number of those leaders hawajakuja kwa mkutano leo. So he tells you it needs courage to be in this meeting. So I want to celebrate the leaders wale wamekuja. Nikikutaja, you just stand, wave. We'll get a chance to speak later on during the plenary after the agenda has been properly set so that you air your views as a leader. We'll have a plenary session. Mheshimiwa Samuel Arama had spoken, so no need to stand. Joseph Cherorot, MP Kipkelion East, you just stand and wave. Asante. Mheshimiwa Jen Kihara from Naivasha, thank you Jen. Asante, thank you for joining us. Mheshimiwa Joseph Tanui from Kuresoi South, thank you the teacher. Asante. Mheshimiwa Samuel Gashobe from Subukia, asante Gashobe for joining us. Mheshimiwa Alfred Mutai from Kuresoi North, thank you Alfred. Mheshimiwa Kakuta Ole Maimai from Kajiado East, thank you Kakuta for joining us. Mheshimiwa Charity Kadhambi, our MP from Joro, thank you Charity. Mheshimiwa David Ole Sankok, member for Yala, East Africa, thank you. Mheshimiwa Gabriel Tongoyo from Narok West, thank you. It's our chairperson for security committee. Mheshimiwa Jane Kagiri from Laikipia County, thank you Jane. Mheshimiwa Irene Joki from Bahati, where are you Irene? Asante, thank you. Agnes Pareyo, Mheshimiwa Narok North, thank you Agnes for joining us. Mheshimiwa Senator Jackson Mandago from Uasin Gishu, where are you Jakma? Asante, thank you for joining us. Mheshimiwa Nelson Koech from Belgut, thank you Nelson. Mheshimiwa Hilary Kosgei from Kipkelion East, West, West, yeah, thank you Hilary. George Sunguya, Kajiado West, thank you Mheshimiwa for joining us. Lynette Toto from Bomet, asante. Honorable Beatrice Kemei, our women MP from Kericho, asante Beatrice, thank you for joining us. The Honorable Jackson Kosgei, nominated MP, thank you, asante Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa CP Ruto from Keses, where are you? Asante, asante CP Ruto. The Honorable Joshua Kandie, Baringo Yakati, asante Joshua. The Honorable David Gikaria from neighboring constituency, thank you, asante Gigs. The Honorable Washira Karani, all the way from Laikipia, thank you. Is there any member of parliament to Mesao? So many. Okay, just stand, I'll try and recognize. That's Mheshimiwa Makilab from Baringo North. Weka mkono juu ili wakujue. Thank you. Next to him is a women MP from Narok constituency. Oh, Rebecca Tonke. No, I was just saying, okay. I wanted to say your name. Aya. Next, Josh Lelmengit from Mgwen constituency. Rongai MP, Mamba. Good. Moiben. Soi. Naona sasa hii ni kazi ya ichungwa mimi nafanya. Watu ya from Moiben. Huyo ni KO South. At least that one I know is my MP in law. So ninajua kwa wazazi. Huyo ni Timo from Marakwet West. Huyo ni veteran chairman Meli from Tinderet. Tuanzie pale. Huyo anaitwa Victor Mandazi from Chepalungu. Next is Hilary Sigei, Senator Bomet. At least that one I know. Alafu huyo is amongst colleagues, long-serving public administrator, anaitwa PC Sigei from Soti constituency. Why are you smiling? Huyo ni Marian Keitany from Aldai, Yala MP, Madam Zipora Kering, that's Mheshimiwa from Soin Sigawet, Justice Kemei. Good. I think that's it. Ferdinand Wanyonyi, ako wapi? Good. Trans Nzoia is well represented. Karibu. Thank you from Kwanza constituency. Yes. That's Mheshimiwa Yegon from Bomet East. Good. Professor Barto from Moiben. Ule ni mama county wa Trans Nzoia. Sioi. I forget. Janet CTNA from Tarbo. Ule ni Kibet Komingoi from Bureti. Uyu from Kajiado North. Mheshimiwa Ngogoyo. Bas, alafu ule tunamuita Paps, lakini official names ni Parashina from Kajiado South. I'm used to calling him by short name Paps. Senators that are here that haven't been introduced, William Chemtudo from Baringo. I think the rest of the senators wote tuliwataja. So that finishes my session, Your Excellency, of introducing all the leaders that are here with us. During the plenary session, viongozi mtapata nafasi ya kusema everything that you need to say. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante. Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you, Majority Leader. You've done justice to time. It's my pleasure to invite the host governor, Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihiga.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, Your Excellency's colleague governors, Cabinet Secretaries present, Majority Leader of the Senate, Senators present, members of the National Assembly, Principal Secretaries present, the DIG, the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner, everyone from the administrations, heads of state agencies present, government officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to join you today as we come together as leaders of the region to discuss the causes, impact, and possible solutions to the menace of illicit brews, drugs, and substance abuse in the Rift Valley region. At the onset, allow me to welcome you to Nakuru County, the home of unlimited opportunities. It is an honor and privilege that Nakuru City was selected to host this event here at the ASK Showground. You are all very welcome. Your Excellencies, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, the conversation on the danger posed by the consumption of illicit brews, use of drugs and substance abuse in our country and more so in the Rift Valley is timely. Various studies in this topic, branded in Nakuru County as the business of death, have shown the use of illicit brews, drugs, and substance abuse among the youth and now some older people does not only pose a challenge to our social, economic, political, and health progress, but also threaten local and national peace and security. Therefore, it is an evolving challenge that all players at the national and county levels must fold their sleeves and tackle to avoid the lethal consequences of this menace. Indeed, illicit alcohol and substance abuse among youth affect not only the individual users and abusers, but also their families and society. These effects include neglect of responsibilities, increased trends in criminal activities, including organized criminal gangs, violent crimes, and international drug trafficking, interpersonal violence, diminished attachment to family and others, impaired self-regulation and problem-solving, decreased development of prosocial attitudes and behavior and health impairment, including mental disorders, reduced life expectancy among the users and abusers. In addition, studies show a death rate of 2.5 times higher than normal among users and abusers. These rates are highest among young adults aged 18 to 35. Youth in this age bracket constitute about 60% of Kenya's national population, hence being the most vulnerable group. Allow me to demonstrate how deep this malaise has become ingrained in our society here in Nakuru County. Sometime in September last year, a 30-year-old resident of Elbagon in Molo Sub-County, serving as an assistant county commissioner in Vihiga, took a short leave to visit his family in Nakuru. With some free time, he went on a night-long drinking spree with his friends in Molo, and sadly, he died the following day from alcohol poisoning, ending a promising administrator's life and leaving behind a young widow and children orphaned at a very young age. On August 8th of 2021, 10 people in the Hodi area of Bahati sub-county died after consuming what tests confirmed to be poisoned illicit liquor. Another 6 people died 4 months later in December 2021 after consuming illicit brew in Jawadho village, Njoro sub-county. Similar deaths arising from illicit brew consumption have been recorded in Molo, Kuresoi South, and Kuresoi North sub-counties. Where deaths have not been reported, you will find once able-bodied youths have been turned into zombies after using drugs and abusing substances that are now easily available in urban centers and villages. Your Excellency, investigations and studies reveal that the purveyors of this menace have devised ways to continue their deadly business under the noses of administrators and security agents. The merchants of this business in Molo, Joro, Bahati, Kuresoi North, Kuresoi South, Gilgil, and parts of Nakuru City have become so enterprising that they conduct their businesses in toilets and even in cemeteries to escape the prying eyes of security officers and administrators. Informal settlements in urban centers in the county have become dens where these merchants conduct their businesses, exacerbating the sorry state that already exists in those areas. In Nakuru City, areas of Kaptembwa, Kivumbini, Kwaronda, Canyon, London, Morogi, and other densely populated slums have become stomping grounds for peddlers of drugs and merchants of illicit brews. Efforts to stamp out this menace must begin in these areas. To stem the spread of the malaise, which is morphing into a security threat at the national and county levels, all players, political leaders, security agencies, the clergy, and the relevant state agencies must work together. It is evident that weak laws, regulations, and low fines have largely contributed to the state we are in regarding illicit brew consumption. As a region, we must develop strong legislation that provides punitive consequences for peddlers of drugs and merchants of illicit brews. Here in Nakuru County, we are preparing a law to this effect. We will seek the support of the national administration of the national government and security teams in the county in the fight against these illicit brews and use of drugs. In the meantime, we have tightened the issuance of licenses to bars and wines and spirits outlets. This year, out of 3,654 applications, licenses were issued to 2,919. 445 were rejected. We want to guard and ring-fence our youths from illicit brews and the use of drugs. In conclusion, I want to thank the national government for identifying the dangers of this menace and bringing us together to discuss and find ways of containing the spread of illicit brews and the use of drugs. This is a fight that we cannot wish away because the consequences are worse. In fighting against this business of death, we seek to reduce poverty, unite families, mold a healthy workforce, clean our politics, entrench harmony and peace in our society, and promote security. I'm convinced that we will have a clear route to tackle this challenge by the time we leave here today. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for leading this fight. It is no easy task, but I'm sure you and all of us together are up to the task. It is now my pleasure to introduce Your Excellencies, my colleague governors. And we have Dr. Mutai, who is the governor of Kericho, and you will have time to speak during the plenary. We have Jonathan B. or Kotimoja from Uasin. We have Hilary Barchok from Bomet. Thank you. We have Benjamin Cheboy, my neighbor from Baringo, who stole my flamingos, but they're back. We have Patrick Ntutu from Narok. We have Governor Irongo from Laikipia. We have Deputy Governor Yulita Mitei from Nandi County. Have I left out any present governor? Let me also take the time to introduce my deputy governor, or the deputy governor of Nakuru County, DG Kones Asanti. I also noticed on the screen there that I saw the majority leader of the Nakuru County Assembly, and any MCAs, if you also can stand up, I think that would be nice. Thank you very much. Asanteni, thank you very much. Oh, they are from other areas also? Oh, okay, all the MCAs, stand up. Sorry, I didn't realize that. No, we did, leader. Okay, thank you very, very much. And for you, the members of the, is it the press? Mumeniona? Niko sawa? Hiyo mreport pia.
Thank you, Governor. Now, I want us to move straight into a presentation by Madam Eunice Rubia. Eunice. Now, as Eunice comes on stage, I want to once again acknowledge the heads of various agencies present here. Maybe you could just stand up so that you wave to the delegation here, the delegates. So I can recognize two. Of course, the head of NACADA, acting CEO, Mr. Muteti. Then there is the acting Commissioner General KRA, Madam Rispa. Yeah. Anti-Counterfeit Agency, thank you. And Kenya Bureau of Standards. So, Madam Eunice, the floor is yours. Yeah.
His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Cabinet Secretaries present, led by our Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior, the Principal Secretary, elected leaders, that is senators, members of parliament, women reps, our governors, regional commissioner, Rift Valley, all the county commissioners in attendance, not forgetting all the leadership of the various agencies, including the chairperson for NACADA, all the various director generals and the CEOs, including the acting CEO of NACADA. Eunice Arubia, I work with NACADA as the regional head for North Rift. I'll be making a presentation on behalf of the region. We are looking at the alcohol and drug abuse situation in the region. And to begin with, we came up with objectives that we wish to achieve from this particular sitting. The first one is to highlight alcohol and drug status in Rift Valley region. We shall also be keen to assess the strategies employed to counter alcohol abuse in this region. Thirdly, to develop a sustainable strategy for the effective crackdown of illicit brews and counterfeit alcohol. And we also want to mainstream alcohol control at community level and to facilitate rehabilitation of persons affected by alcohol and drug abuse. As an introduction, our country is confronted with a serious and growing problem of alcohol and drug abuse, which is cutting across all sectors of the society, affecting the health, education, manufacturing, environment, and the security sector.
Some of the effects of alcohol and drug abuse include diseases which are related to alcoholism, family breakages, crime, mental issues, illnesses, suicide, low productivity at the workplaces, as well as poor academic performance and indiscipline in schools. Rift Valley region is gravely affected, with the youth particularly wasting in cheap liquor and its related effects. Therefore, we commend His Excellency the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, for taking the lead in the war against illicit brew and drug abuse in the country. The bringing together of the region's leadership is a demonstration of the government's goodwill and efforts of curbing the menace. Looking at the prevalence, particularly pointing out from the survey conducted by NACADA, this particular study the findings were officially unveiled by NACADA. So I'll be pointing out just the key areas, but the full report is available on our website. So looking at the prevalence in terms of those that have engaged in using at least one drug or substance of abuse, you'll find the national percentage stands at 17.5, but for Rift Valley, our region, it is 14.1. With the use of alcohol, the national statistic stands at 9.7, but for our region is 9.6, a difference of just 0.1. Then with tobacco, the national level is 8.5. For us as a region, we are equally the same level with the national, standing at 8.5%. With CAT, what we refer to as MIRA, national statistics stands at 2.6%. The regional statistics stands at 2.1%. Cannabis, which is also bang, stands, national level is 1.9, and at the regional level, we are at 1.2%. Portable spirits, which is also a big menace to us as a region, as you can see, from the regions there, Central comes number one on that with 4.1, Coast follows at 3.2%, and our region, Rift Valley, comes closely there as the third at 3.1. But compared to what we have as the statistics of the national prevalence levels, the national, we stand at 2.5. You can see actually the first 5 regions are even ahead of what we can accumulate together as the figure for the national level. Then at the national level, in terms of consumption, the male are the most affected at 4.8%. Females follow at 0.6. When you compare portable spirits use at both urban and you compare to rural, you find the urban population is the highest affected, actually using at 3.6%, and the rural at 1.9%. Alcohol consumption in terms of age, we'll categorize between age 15 to 24. That is for our region, it stands at 4.0%. The most affected of that age bracket is between 25 and 35%, standing at 11.8%. As a region generally, alcohol consumption is 9.6. I'd looked at those figures earlier when we were just short of 0.1% from the national percentage. A summary of current use of drugs for Rift Valley in terms of population. For alcohol, we are 673,828 people who are affected by the use of alcohol, followed by tobacco, which is at 598,988. Thirdly is CAT, what we call MIRA, is at 146,997. Cannabis follows, which is also referred to as bang or marijuana. It's at 84,832 people affected by the use of cannabis. For prescription drugs, it is 13,325. Multiple substance use, that is people that use more than one substance, it stands at 385,892. Those that have used at least one substance, the total population is standing at 991,814. In terms of severe use and developing substance use disorder, those are the people that require intervention in terms of treatment and rehabilitation. For alcohol use as a region, we have a population that is in dire need of services of rehabilitation at 319,946. For tobacco use, we have a population of 269,726. For cat, miraa, we have a population of 43,207. For cannabis, it is 43,386. And lastly, prescription drugs, which is a serious menace currently with the young ones, is at 9,670. Situational analysis. When we looked at this largely, this is what came out from the survey. The region is largely affected by the use and proliferation of changa and portable spirits that are extremely potent. Secondly, there is a worrying burden of alcohol and tobacco addiction in the region that transcends across all ages. Also, the findings show evidence of early initiation to drug and substance use in the region. As well as the data from the region shows that the age between 25 and 35% years is the most affected by drug and substance use, as well as the burden of addiction. As we saw earlier, that age bracket was at 11.8%. The region is also emerging as a key market for heroin and cocaine use, especially in the two counties, that is Nakuru, specifically Nakuru town, and Uasin Gishu, that is Eldoret town. Abuse of prescription drugs for non-medical use is another emerging challenge in the region, especially for those psychiatric medications like diazepam, Aten, Rohypnol, and codeine syrup. We also have put down, in terms of the details, the number of outlets that were licensed per county. Nakuru, by the time we're putting this report together, we were at 1,812, followed by Laikipia, that have licensed a total number of 1,159 outlets. Narok has licensed 960 outlets. Uasin Gishu has licensed 767. Bomet has licensed 659 outlets. Trans Nzoia County has licensed 534 outlets. Kericho has licensed 368 outlets. Elgeyo Marakwet has licensed 315 outlets. Nandi County has licensed a total of 310 outlets. Samburu has licensed 237 outlets. Baringo County, 178 outlets. Turkana, 159 outlets. Kajiado, 142. And the last one is West Pokot, that has licensed so far 92 outlets. In the entire region, out of the 14 counties, we have a total of 7,694 outlets. And to us, just to mention that we have one sub-county in the region that has no single outlet. That is Pokot South in West Pokot County, specifically a place called Lelan. Your Excellency, sir, also we managed to map out. We also managed to map out the hotspots for both illicit brew and drugs. So just to mention, we have a detailed report of all the hotspots. So we have places like in Nakuru, we have railways, we have Kasarani, Showground, among many others. And we also have Laikipia with places like Majengo Slums, Ukumbusho Market, Liki River, among others. And then Bomet, we have Lebekwet and Mogoma villages, among many other places that we've mapped out. For Kajiado, we have also quite a number of places. Ongata Rongai, Ngong, Matasia Town, Mbulbul, among many, many other places. Nandi County, we have Olomotit and Kaptuta villages along Mbogo riverbanks, among other places that we've mapped out. Turkana County, we have Lokomarinyang, Kaikor, Napak, Kibish, among other places, including places like California. Wasingishu, we have a long list of places we've mapped out. I'll just mention a few. That is, we have, there are quite a number of them for Wasingishu. So we have Kambiamani, Toyo Bay Village. We have quite a number of them as you see them there. As you can see, for sure, we've mapped out so many places. Then we have Narok, Ololunga Junction, Kambi Chafu, among other places. In Kericho, we have Brook, Kericho Town, Ainawi Moi, Lemotit, among other places. In Baringo, we have Mochongoi, Kimoriot, Arabal, Marigat, among other places, including Tenges Center and Kapiemit. Samburu County, we have Maralal, Milimani, Suguta Town, Wamba, Baragoi, among other places. In Elgeyo Marakwet as well, we equally have so many places that we've mapped out. Chesongoch, Viewpoint, along Kerio River, bordering Baringo County, the Hanging Valley, among other so many places. For Trans Nzoia, we have Trans Nzoia, we have Pwatak Farm, Pango Farm, Bondeni, Namboko, Chemichemi, among other places. West Pokot, we have Aramaket, Kisima, Madare, Mawingo Road, among other places. In terms of accredited treatment and rehabilitation centers in the region, we have facilities that are operating, actually, that can serve our people, as we saw the numbers that are in dire need of treatment and rehabilitation. For South Rift, we have a total of 14 rehabilitation centers, Beyond All Love, Family Wellness, Presbyterian Care Center, Teens Challenge Kenya Nakuru Center, Mary Wairiri Foundation, Karira Medical and Rehabilitation Center, Jabali Wellness, we have Idlik Wellness Center, New Dawn, Zenesis, Wheeling Way, The Retreat Limited, Emmanuel Treatment Resource Center, Palm Tree Home Wellness Center. For North Rift, we have Moi Teaching and Referral, Elgeyo Marakwet County 10, Rehab, Lighthouse, Hospital and Rehabilitation Center, Nuru Wellness, Haven Recovery Center, Serenity Africa, Adapt, Alumasi Rehabilitation Center, Talbot Center under the Catholic Diocese of Lodwar, Ichuman Wellness Center, Kabri Sang Rehabilitation Center in Nandi, which was done through partnership with NGAF, National Government Affirmative Action Funds. The same as the last one, Lodwar Rehabilitation Center, also done in partnership with the National Government Affirmative Action Funds. NACADA has funded a few like Moi Teaching Referral, Elgeyo Marakwet County 10 Rehab, and one in Bomet. That is in the region, but NACADA has done many others in the country. The achievements, we managed to put out achievements we've realized in the region. The first one, through partnership with both state and non-state actors, we've been able to have a program that is alternative livelihood program targeting specifically the brewers. We had notorious brewers in the region, and through a partnership, we've been able to convince them, get them trained and engaged in other alternative ways of earning a living. And we have so far reached an estimate number of 3,000 in the region. We also want to commend the county government so far that all counties have enacted their laws in this region, and they all have functional directorates responsible for the alcohol and drug control function. Then as NACADA, through partnership with county governments, as I indicated earlier, and in collaboration with GAV, we have 5 key rehabilitation facilities in the region that we've been managed to put together, and they are serving this region. Then there is a significant decrease in the number of licensed outlets this particular year, estimated at about 20%. The numbers came down compared to the number of outlets that were licensed the previous year. So we really want to still commend everybody that really is taking part in this. Your Excellency, we hope that going forward, we shall work to ensure that this number comes down further. Then in terms of other achievements, just to point out when we do the work of enforcement, there are a number of achievements we've also realized as we work as a multi-agency in the region, that is so far within this a span of a period that we worked together, we managed to arrest and charge in court a total of 1,255 suspects. That is for a period of 100 days. Then we also managed to close 781 outlets in the region. And with all this, it attracted a fine amounting to 17,243,000. We also netted illicit brew that was amounting to 942,060 liters. With bang, we recovered 2,419 rolls. We also managed to collect 1,700 brooms, plants, and stems of bang. And we also managed to collect 100 stones and 24 kgs bulk, the one that is found in a sack. So weighing, it was about 24 kilograms. For cocaine in a region, that is most recent, and the case is still pending in court, we managed to get 54 sachets of cocaine. And one thing we want to commend our prosecution and together with the judiciary is that the culprit was denied bond. We've also managed during that period to net ethanol on transit amounting to 76,756 liters. Second generation, we got during that period 14 cartons, 2,485 pieces of assorted vodka brands. Cigarettes, we managed to collect 1,696 packets. For molasses, we got 10,750 liters. Yeast, we got 152.57 kilograms. And illegally manufactured beer in Kericho, when this illegal manufacturing was happening, we managed to get 678 bottles during that particular operation. And the value of counterfeit generally during that period that we valued in collaboration as we worked as a multi-agency, KRA were able to value all that was seized at 167 million. That is a great loss when it comes to if we don't really fight counterfeiting out there. Then, in terms of challenges, as we do this work, we've also pointed out a number of challenges that we experience. One is weakness in licensing and enforcement, and specifically we've pointed out the following. One is mushrooming of alcoholic outlets in undesignated areas, including wines and spirit shops. Secondly, the bars that operate without valid documentation, without licenses. Then abuse of licenses, sale of substandard alcohol in unhealthy conditions, outlets operating beyond stipulated hours, wines and spirits dispensing on site contrary to the law. Under corruption as a challenge, we also pointed out there's a lot of collection of protection fees, bribes to avoid closure and arrest, information leakage during crackdowns, and conflict of interest. Abuse of prescription drugs. We have a challenge particularly for unregulated sale of pharmaceutical drugs. And particularly, as I cited earlier, we have a big challenge with codeine syrup. And I believe that a lot can be done, especially with our colleagues at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board as well. Because currently what our young people are doing, they get codeine syrup, they buy Lucozade, ready to drink juice, they mix it up and they're able to come up with an intoxicating substance. So it's a serious challenge. Prosecution challenges, cases taking too long to conclude, lenient charges, sentences, and fines. Chiefs and security officers facing prosecution charges in court by brewers and peddlers. We have uncontrolled trade in ethanol and powder beer as a challenge. That particularly is brought about by diversion of ethanol to manufacture substandard and counterfeit alcohol, portable spirits in the market, illegal manufacturers, availability of powder beer to concoct illicit brew. Then with bank smoking is a big challenge. The region is one of the key markets for the cannabis coming from neighboring countries. For loss of revenue, counterfeit products and fake stamps during that particular time, we got what we estimated in terms of loss amounting to 81,900,000. Then the other challenge we pointed out as a multi-agency is that there is a challenge at the family level brought about by poor parenting, and one that was caused by the containment measures during COVID-19. People began drinking from home, and which is really interfering with the family unit. Also, we pointed out the emerging trends. The first one is the legal packaging of alcohol in personal houses. It's a big challenge in the region. And then hawking of illicit brew. People move around with backpacks, just hawking like any other business. And then sale of confectionaries laced with drugs, particularly the use of bang and heroin to make weed cakes and weed cookies. And lastly, as an emerging trend, we have currently unregulated online sale of alcoholic drinks, including home and office deliveries. So the other one that we pointed out as a challenge is the management of empty bottles, which is a big challenge, which is a contributing factor to the counterfeiting of genuine brands through recycling of empty bottles. There is need for a policy to assist in management of empty bottles. Recommendations that we've made as a region are: one, alcohol and drug control being a shared function between both the national and county government. There is need for the establishment of county-based intergovernmental committees on alcohol and drug abuse. Secondly, we recommend the amendment of the Alcoholic Drinks Control Act of 2010 regulations to include and provide a formula for determining maximum number of alcohol outlets to be licensed in a given area based on population density as envisioned in the Act. Thirdly, we recommend that there is need to amend the county-specific laws to align with the national law, Alcohol Drinks Control Act 2010, so that they are in tandem, because currently they are not reading the same. Fourth, we've recommended counties to invest in research, prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation programs from liquor licensing fees. We emphasize for ring-fencing of the funds collected from licensing. We have a few counties that have managed to establish a fund account, and our plea here today is to really plead, Your Excellency, that if the counties can all establish a fund that will be able to manage all issues to do with alcohol and drug control. There is also, finally, fifth, we've recommended there is need for decentralization of government chemist services, because currently we have a serious challenge. When we have samples in the region, we have to travel either to Kisumu or to Nairobi, and it is a big challenge. Sometimes when the cases are in court and the reports delay to be released, it really affects the verdict of our cases in court. We also recommend that there is need to ensure coordinated and multi-agency licensing regime of alcoholic outlets, where Ngao and National Police Service are also involved at all levels. We also recommend a need to undertake regular surveillance and enforcement to ensure compliance. We also recommend there is need to enhance community participation in control of alcohol and drugs, including licensing. We also recommend a need for a structured training for addiction professionals. As we talked about the huge number of people that are affected, there is need for personnel to be given capacity to handle the persons that are affected with addiction. There is need to standardize hours of operation for alcoholic outlets so that they are all the same in terms of opening hours and closing hours. We want to thank you very much. Maybe just to point out, as I was talking about the government chemist, there's a challenge currently in the region whereby we have a challenge when we do raids. They are expected to supply the whole consignment for analysis. Sometimes it is quite hectic if you have like 100 grams of liquor that you've seized and you're expected to take it all for analysis. Previously, we just used to take samples so that with the processing of the cases in court. But currently, really experiencing a big challenge. Either Kisumu or Nairobi is a big challenge. And then shortly, Your Excellency, we also have a short documentary. When we're talking about the program for the reformed brewers, it's a short documentary for about 5 minutes only that we wish to play so that we really get to understand what is notorious brewers alternative. So thank you very much. We're going to watch it briefly.
Kaunti ya Kisii.
Zaidi ya wauzaji na waraibu wa pombe haramu 1000 katika kaunti za Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Pokot Magharibi na Uasin Gishu wameamua kuacha uraibu huo na kugeukia kilimo na biashara ndogo ndogo. Watengenezaji pombe ambao kwa wakati mmoja walikuwa sugu wamebadili mienendo baada ya zaidi ya miaka 20 ya kucheza mchezo wa paka na panya na maafisa wa polisi na mamlaka ya Nakada. Wengi wao ambao walitegemea vileo kulea familia zao sasa wana simulizi tofauti kabisa, kama anavyotuarifu Ben Kirui.
Lilian Adema, mwanamke mwenye umri wa miaka 41, ni mmoja kati ya wale ambao walikuwa wanajihusisha na biashara ya pombe haramu kabla ya kugeuka na kuuasi biashara hiyo. Tangia atoke katika kituo cha kurekebisha tabia na maadili miaka 10 iliyopita, mabadiliko katika maisha yake ni dhahiri, huku ndoto aliyoazimia zikionekana kuanza kutimia.
Kuna vitu inaitwa 5S. Wanasema start with what you have, start small, start slowly, start straight away and share with others. So mi wakati nilitoka mahali pale Eldoret, hii shamba ni shamba yangu, inafika hapa ni half an acre. Wakati nilitoka Eldoret, wakasema start with what you have. Sikuwa na kuku, sina kondo, sina chochote, na wamesema start with what you have. Nikauliza Mungu, nitaanza na nini?
Baada yake kuaga kituo cha kurekebisha tabia na maadili, Lilian alianza biashara ya kutengeneza na kuuza matofali pamoja na ukulima. Hajawahi kutazama nyuma tena. Katika miaka ya nyuma, nafasi hii ndani ya boma lake Lilian ingekuwa imetapakaa walevi kila mahali, lakini kwa sasa nafasi hii inatumika kuendeleza miradi ambayo anataja kuwa ya manufaa mno kwake.
Sijawahi jutia tangu niliacha. Nikatengeneza matofari, customers walikuja. Yaani matofari yangu ilikuwa inachukuliwanga kama ni moto.
Hata hivyo, majukumu ya kuwalea wanawe sita nusura ya mrejeshe katika biashara hiyo haramu. Dina Rono, mwanamke wa miaka 50, ana majukumu ya kuwalea wanawe wawili mikononi mwake peke yake. Baada ya miaka 20 ya biashara ya vileo haramu, alifanya maamuzi ya kuasi, akitafuta ushauri na kurekebisha tabia na maadili kabla ya kuzamia miradi tofauti ikiwemo ukulima, ufugaji kuku na kutengeneza sabuni.
Wakati nilirudi, nilikuja nikaunda sabuni, ikanisaidia sana. Nikiunda 20 liters, ninauza 3,000.
Anapotazama nyuma, anajivunia hatua ambazo amepiga maishani.
Wakati nilikuwa nikitengeneza pombe, mnakaa tu na walevi. Hata kama sikunywi, nilikuwa nimekaa.
There has been more collaboration, especially between the citizens and the police officers, in identifying and apprehending peddlers of these illegal substances. We have also had innovative approaches in the fight, like the Murang'a County, where citizens submitted names of suspects through secret ballots for subsequent police action. Additionally, the National Police Service has heightened efforts on interception of illicit alcohol, drugs, and production materials such as ethanol on transit. The interceptions are intelligence-based and well supported by wananchi. I encourage all the National Police Service officers across the country to continue with the fight against the illicit alcohol and other narcotic drugs with the firmness that it deserves. To the police commanders from the Rift Valley region, we are with you here today. All persons should be treated equally in the fight. Do not let anyone intimidate you in the discharge of your mandate. The Deputy President has said this before, that no one is untouchable. Also, the Inspector General and all of us, we stand with every officer in doing that which is right. From this meeting, we shall have a better organized, well-coordinated, greater collaboration and rejuvenated fight against alcohol, drug abuse in the Rift Valley region. Your Excellency, on behalf of the National Police Service, I reiterate our commitment to the campaign. As a service, we have put in place various measures, including reorganization of deployment of officers, because we must get it right this time around. It is time we combat abuse of alcohol and other drugs in the country differently. I am glad that Kenyans and leaders of all walks of life have rallied behind the crackdown. It shows the high level of concerns and the heavy burden the society has been grappling with due to drugs and substance abuse. We have all heard the clarion call. We have a God-given opportunity to serve. Let us work together in restoring sobriety in our beloved country, Kenya. I thank you all. Thank you. Maybe to conclude, to the police officers, please, you have our support. Do what is right. Let us ensure that our society is saved from this menace. Again, as we said while we were in Nyeri, we are not going to allow the illicit brews, alcoholic drinks, and drugs to exist together with our officers. Kwa hivyo, moja mpaka aondoke. Na hapa, juu pombe hawezi kaondoka, ni polisi ataondoka, si ni kweli? Kwa hivyo, wacha tuondoe hii pombe, alafu sisi tuendelee na kazi. I know we have a few challenges here and there, internal challenges, correction of some protection fee here and there, hard changes here and there. Please, abia maofficers wenu waachane na hiyo. Tufanyie wananchi wetu kazi, tuifanye vizuri, na sisi at the end of the day tutakuwa tumebarikiwa sana. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, DIG. Now it's my honor to invite my Cabinet Secretary to come and introduce his colleagues and make a few remarks, and then invite the Deputy President. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, all senior government officials present here from the national government and the counties of our country, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, allow me to introduce my colleagues, members of the cabinet who have joined us here today for this very important occasion. Before I do so, I think the PS for Internal Security and National Administration forgot to introduce one other senior officer in our midst, and that is the Secretary for Public Prosecutions, Dorcas Oduor. She is representing the Director of Public Prosecutions. Your Excellency, in our midst, we have the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport. We have the Honorable Soipan Tuya, Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change, and Forestry. We also have Davis Chirchir, the Cabinet Secretary for Energy. Last but not least, my sister there, the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Florence Bore. Your Excellency, sir, since we are not doing very well with time, I will be very brief. I would like to say the following. First, I thank you for profiling the fight against illicit and toxic alcoholic drinks and narcotic drugs to the level of your office. Your support and leadership will go a long way in helping us get rid of this problem that is one of the major cancers eating into our society. Your Excellency, allow me also to say the following, that the sale and use of illicit and toxic alcoholic drinks, as well as narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, is a national emergency. It is not a small matter anymore. We have been on this topic for a few years now, but we in the Interior Ministry are convinced that unless we address this cancer and this problem with finality, we stand to lose the next generation of Kenyans who will take over and take forward this country when everybody seated here will be gone. Your Excellency, I would like to clarify that we are not against licensed traders in alcohol. Traders who are allowed to engage in trade in alcohol, they have been licensed and they are selling products which have been given approval by the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, which are agencies of government, have nothing to fear. And I want to direct all officers involved in this crackdown not to use the excuse of this fight to harass, intimidate, extort money from legitimate traders and business people who are engaged in the business of alcohol. We have already received reports. Some of our officers have taken advantage of the effort that Your Excellency are leading to harass business people who are selling products which have been approved by government agencies. And even if I know we've had another discussion about how many licenses should be issued, that is a different discussion. Any trader, any business person who is selling products which are licensed and they have been approved by the agencies of government should not be harassed simply because of this crackdown. This crackdown, Your Excellency, is on illicit alcohol, toxic alcohol, which is laced with poisonous substances, which is ruining the health of our children, our men and women, which is breaking our families, and which is affecting economic development, as well as narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. I hope all officers have heard me. So in this process, any officer who veers away from the very deliberate and focused efforts of cleaning this country from dangerous substances and from drugs, that officer will be on their own, and we will take action without any further reference. Your Excellency, thirdly, I would like to say that we have scanned the threats that we consider the most dangerous and the most critical threats for our national security. The first one is terrorism. I want to commend all our security agencies who for years and months have made sure that our country remains free from the threat of terror. And although the public may never know what our officers do every day, Your Excellency, I want to report that in the last 6 months especially, the war against terror has gained momentum, and I can proudly report that we have been able to detect and thwart what would have been catastrophic attacks on our country's security. We are going to increase our alertness and make sure that never again will terrorists find their way to hurt us the way they have hurt us in the past. Number two, we have a problem in about 13 counties, with 8 counties being most affected. The problem of criminals who are engaged in the organized crime of banditry and livestock rustling. Once more, I commend our officers who, especially in the last few months, and these are officers from both our internal security organs, the National Police Service and other agencies, but also from the Kenya Defense Forces, who have helped us put bandits in a corner. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, where we have put these criminals, they will never recover again. We will sustain that war. We will go relentlessly against them. We will eradicate them from our midst. And therefore, our officers have firm instructions to deal with bandits mercilessly and make sure that the deaths that we have experienced in many parts of our country, especially the North Rift, do not occur again. Thirdly, is the problem that brings us here. We believe the sale and use of illicit alcoholic drinks, as well as drugs, narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances is a threat, just like terrorism and banditry. It's only that the means are different. What terrorists do to destroy society, what bandits do, these fellows who are selling these dangerous substances are doing the same. In fact, they have even greater number of casualties. Number 4, we have determined in this country that religious and cultural extremism is slowly threatening the fabric of our country. We are already in shock as a nation as what is happening in Kilifi County continues to unfold. And Your Excellency, if we can allow what happened in Shakahola to pass just like any other security breach, we will have a case to answer to posterity and to future generations of Kenyans. I believe, without a doubt, that the very unfortunate and unforgettable incident in Shakahola should be a turning point on how we handle our national security, and all criminals and thugs and terrorists who are hiding behind Christianity or any other religion for that matter. We have decided, as the Interior Ministry, we will crack down on them with the same vigor, same strength, same focus, same clarity of mind as we are doing with the bandits, terrorists, and the sellers of illicit alcohol and drugs. Finally, Your Excellency, this country is facing a challenge on our law and order emanating from violent behavior which is incited as a way of resolving social, economic, and political grievances. 2-3 months ago, we all saw how people purporting to be political demonstrators in Nairobi and the counties, some of the counties in Nyanza, caused death, destruction, looting, and breaking of property in the pretext that they are exercising political rights. We have also seen, Your Excellency, just last week, criminals who are said to have been exercising a grievance against the police in Esebania storm a police station, break into the armory, try to free people in lawful custody. Your Excellency, I'm on the way there to Esebania. No country worth its salt can tolerate that kind of behavior. It doesn't matter what the grievances are. I know, Your Excellency, we have a problem. The DIG has spoken here, but he has not been as candid as perhaps I can be as his minister. We have a problem. Some of our officers are part of the problems we are facing in this country. And time has come for us as a country to part ways with any member of the organs of our national security who is aiding, abetting, and even complicating the already enough security challenges we have as a country. And it will not be enough. We have decided, Your Excellency, it will not be enough to transfer people. Because you transfer an officer, you are transferring a problem. I want to make it clear to all my colleagues who are serving with me in this ministry at all levels. Time has come for us to decide either we build our country or we just let it go to the dogs. And I'm sure the choice is extremely obvious. Between you as an officer and the country, we will choose to stick with the country. There are some genuine grievances, but at the same time, members of the public, we must be an orderly society which processes their grievances within the law. Therefore, any member of the public who tries to access a police station or any protected area trying to contend with law enforcement officers in the name of processing their grievances will treat you the way we are treating the other dangerous people in our midst. I am afraid that lawlessness has been induced by leaders, including political leaders. In Kericho and Bomet, this culture of violent resolution of grievances, Kericho and Bomet as we speak, next step, people who have what appears to be some of them genuine grievances of a historical nature. But instead of asking governments to support them resolve grievances, they steal property, they burn equipment, they even resist law enforcement officers and attack some of them, including burning police cars. And there are some political leaders who are involved, and they are my friends. And they are my friends. We will not allow you, whoever you are, to take Kenya to the dogs. It will start in Kericho and Bomet, it will go to Nandi, it will go to another place where there is tea, it will go to central Kenya, we'll have no country. So, Your Excellency, I took time to elaborate that to say where we have placed all these problems is in the same WhatsApp group. The terrorists, the bandits, people selling drugs and alcohol, the people who are extremists, religious extremists, cultural extremists, like the people trying to revive Mungiki and other proscribed organizations which have come with beautiful names. Other names, they are not even calling them Mungiki. And we have the information. And we saw what some of these crooks and criminals were trying to do outside the DCI headquarters the other day. No country worth its salt entertains that kind of behavior. So, Your Excellency, as we fight this, we must also say no to religious and cultural extremists who want to throw Kenya to the dogs. We must say no to political and other leaders who are inciting violence and discrediting and defiling the facilities that symbolize order and civility in our country. You go to a police station to report crime. I have already admitted I have a lot of problems. And Kanja, you have a job. You have a job, Kanja. Your 70,000 Kenya police officers. You have a job. And the problem is at command level. Because when the command is aligned, these constables will toe the line, isn't it? So we have a job. But you see, the public also, that does not excuse the public. Run over police stations, bring proscribed groups to demonstrate and chant slogans outside the security facility. The politicians who are inciting people to vandalize equipment in the tea estates, I'll arrest all of you. All of you. Because it's not right. The politicians who are aiding and assisting bandits to steal livestock and kill people, I'll put you in. Whether you are in the opposition, whether you are in the government side, that is my work, and I know it's not popular work. So, Your Excellency, I'm sorry I went overboard kidogo, lakini asante kwa kunisaidia. Kwa sababu hii pombe itaharibu Kenya. Hii madawa itaharibu Kenya. Na kama wewe ni afisa wa polisi, kama wewe ni afisa wa utawala, na wewe mwenyewe ndio uko pale, unasaidiana na wale wanauza pombe ya sumu na madawa ya kulevya, your time is up and we'll part ways with you because we cannot prioritize you over our country. Kwa hayo mengi na machache, I request that we be all upstanding and invite the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, to set the climate as we go to the plenary. Welcome, Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated. Our Cabinet Secretary for Interior and the other Cabinet Secretaries, Dr. Omolo, our PS, the Regional Commissioner, the DIG, Bwana Kanja, the regional commanders, the sub-county commanders, the county commanders, the station commanders, our ACCs and officers, our members of parliament from the National Assembly and the Senate, good morning. We are happy to be here in Nakuru, the headquarters of the region that was previously Rift Valley Province on an important matter, not just for this region, but for the country as well. I bring you greetings from the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Ruto. He asked me to see him this morning because he comes from this region, and he had a specific message for you and for me. That much as he is the President of the Republic of Kenya, he comes from somewhere. And charity begins at home. And it cannot be that he is tackling a national problem and he is unable to tackle back at home. He has previously had very clear instructions to Professor Kindiki to sort out the banditry menace in the North Rift, which is embarrassing to the President and to all of us, because this is home. So he called me this morning and asked me to come and talk to you and tell you that this work we are doing, the instructions came from him because Kenya was sliding into a drunken country. And a whole generation between the age of 24 and 35, the most productive section of our society, was almost getting lost. So we started this journey in Nyeri, in the central Kenya region, not because I come from there, but because the problem was of the highest magnitude in that area. And I also, like the President, felt that even Jesus started in Jerusalem before he went to Judea. So I'm also here today in defense of my boss, that I cannot also allow, and I cannot sleep. And Professor Kindiki shouldn't sleep too, when the backyard of our boss is getting completely consumed by illicit alcohol and drug abuse. I didn't know the problem was that big until when we talked with the RC and I was saying we get like 6-7 counties, and the people of Baringo were up in arms that they have been left out. They were also claiming that they are having a problem. And I think the way to solve a problem is first to acknowledge that it exists. And I'm so happy, and I really want to thank the senators and the members of parliament who are here for acknowledging that we have a problem. Once we diagnose the problem, that's what a good doctor will do, then he'll go ahead and do a prescription. The truth of the matter, we have a problem. I am many times accused of being paranoid about the previous administration. I'm not, I'm just truthful, because I think it's good to be truthful. This situation degenerated as the previous administration watched by. The level of impunity in sale of illicit alcohol and drugs is in a level that is not acceptable anywhere in the world. People are selling alcohol 24 hours, selling poison, as officers just watched. And I don't want to blame the officers. There was no political direction. People are led, officers are led. When President William Ruto came to office, I must tell you he had a serious problem with the officers of the National Government Administration, because in his opinion, and rightly so, they had absconded duty and went into politics of BBI and Azimio and all that nonsense that surrounded it. And the president was wondering why we need that branch of government, because he does not need them in politics, and that is what they were doing. It took me and Professor Kindiki and PS Raymond Omolo to sit the president down and convince him that officers of the national government administration are good people. They are very resourceful officers. They are result-oriented. They are very focused only when they get the right instruction. And we told the president the problem was not the officers, it was the leadership. They had removed them from their job of dealing with security, dealing with alcohol, dealing with the boundary disputes, creating peace and harmony, and told them to go and collect signatures for BBI, to go and try to sell Project Azimio, and such other difficult things that of course they perform dismally because they are not trained in that line of thinking. The president and I would be stupid to ask them to help us in politics. We would fail. Walisaidia Azimio ikaanguka. Sasa tukiwachukua tusaidie zitaanguka. We cannot. And the president agreed with us that we give them a chance. And we gave them the first responsibility. And I'm so proud of our officers from the National Government Administration that I served for 15 years. That when the president asked us to assign them the function of registering farmers across the country at slightly less than 50 million shillings. They registered farmers across the country in 2 weeks, where consultants had charged the Ministry of Agriculture 12 billion to do the same work. And I can tell you from the very good job that was done by our officers, from the assistant chief all the way to the regional commissioner, today we have a database that is accurate for all farmers across the country. And it is that data that we used for the fertilizer subsidy program that has been very successful. Officers of National Government Administration, I want to congratulate you and tell you today, President William Ruto is your #1 advocate, that you are good people. We want to confirm today that this administration will never assign officers of administration and the police political duties. First and foremost, they are bad at it, so it is not wise to apply them that way. Number 2, they have a job to do and they are paid for to protect life and property, to create peace and harmony, and to spur development. I want to assure you that our MPs here from our side of the coalition should never ask you to assist them to do politics. And if they tell you, look for us. Even if they are in Kenya Kwanza, they are in UDA, you are not the errand boys. That is not your work. And Professor, you have said you are going to arrest people. Yeah. When you took this job, I told you, this job you have no friends. Even myself, if I do something wrong, come for me. Yeah. Because now, this work of national security is non-negotiable. I mean, it's such an important aspect of our existence as a country that anybody who violates the law, who gets involved in criminal activities, you must be prepared for the consequences. I invite leaders to read the Penal Code, Cap 63. Align yourself with it so that as you do your things wherever you are, you keep it in your car so that you keep on checking what you are doing. Because the way the professor have talked here, I'm very scared for you. And I can tell you, please, especially those who work for government, don't embarrass us by breaking the law. Because now, Kanja akiambiwa akushike na professor atakushika. Sasa ukinipigia simu, I cannot call to say uachiliwe. So you are putting us in a difficult situation. Wale wetu wako bande yetu, hata wale wengine. Kama wewe ni kiongozi, tafadhali don't embarrass yourself by doing things that are not right. Because you embarrass everybody. These are difficult situations to arrest a governor, to arrest a senator. But they must be arrested if they break the law. But you really put us in a very difficult situation. So why are we here today? President, I, Professor Kindiki, the rest of us here, none of us has a problem with alcohol. Personally, I must admit, I used to drink a lot before I got saved. But since I stopped drinking, my things have been very good. That's how I'm deputy president. So I invite those who drink to consider to stop, to drop it. Maybe your things will get better. None of us has a problem with alcohol. But we have a problem with the poison in the name of alcohol. That we have a problem. We have a big problem with poison put in bottles and sachets and described as alcohol. That we have a problem. None of us has a problem with licensed establishments. But we have a problem with licensed establishments selling poison as alcohol. We have a problem. None of us has a problem with licensed establishments selling the right products. But we have a problem with the licensed establishments selling alcohol from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. the following day. That we have a problem. We have a problem with the people who have opened factories in their houses and distilleries and unhygienic conditions and they are not licensed. That we have a problem. We have a problem with the people who are bringing ethanol across the Tanzanian border in Namanga at night and using it to manufacture poison under the guise of alcohol. We have a problem with that. We are very happy with police officers who are doing a good job. But we have a serious problem with a few of them who have conflict of interest, who have opened bars in the areas where they serve. We have a problem. We have a problem with our police officers who are collecting protection fees. We have a problem with our police officers who are supposed to go and arrest drunkards, but they are more drunk than the people they are going to arrest. That we have a problem. Si tumesema tuambiane ukweli. You are mimi, I'm a truthful man. Wengine wananidharau mimi. Lakini ninasemanga tu ukweli. Ukweli ni kwamba from today hii region maofficers wetu watapigana na ulevi na madawa. Kama hawezani naye watupatie nafasi tutafute wengine wa kufanya hiyo kazi. Na vile profesa amesema na kaja amekubali, we are not going to transfer a problem. That is a decision that has been made in the National Security Council, shared by the president himself. We will not transfer a problem from Rift Valley to Western Kenya, because that would be foolish. Wewe kama uwezi pigana na hii maneno, utupatie nafasi tafadhali, vijana ni wengi, officers are many, who can do the similar job. And the professor is very candid. Wanakaja, we have a problem. That is the truth. We have a problem. We have a problem and a big one. Juzi, watu ya hii criminal gang walikuwa nasumbua watu kwa DCI, wamekamatwa, kuliko kupeleka kotini. OCS amechukua hongo ya watu 14 amewaachilia. Ati mnataka tukae na mtu kama huyo? How? At a station commander has powers to do whatever he wants. In which country? Which one? Hii Kenya William Ruto hii? Hapana, tafadhali tusilete mchezo kwa kazi. Hakuna haja. I want to speak to these officers because I was one of them. Na hii kazi president ananipatia because ninaielewa kidogo. I don't know too much. I'm a bit rusty. I've been away for too long. But I have a slight idea. The station commander is the center of police operations. And everything revolves around the station commander. That's why you are in this meeting. A police station is as efficient as a station commander. A police station is as rotten as a station commander. A police station is as corrupt as a station commander. It all boils down to leadership. A station commander defines what happens in that station. If he decides he will be collecting bribes, they will be collected by his deputy, the OC crime, the inspectorate, the NCOs, and the constables, because that is the leadership that has been provided in that station. Kazi ya hiyo station ni kuchukua hongo kuanzia mkubwa all the way to the constable. If the station commander decides that in the station there is no corruption, there is no bribery, the deputy station commander will not collect bribes. The OC crime will not collect. The NCOs will not. The constables will not. What am I saying? On illicit brews and drug abuse and other crimes will solely be in the hands of the station commander, and the success or failure of it will be your marking scheme. And there is no station commander who has failed in one station who will be taken to lead another one. No. It's not possible. We went to Bomet, to Kericho with the president for a Thanksgiving service on a Sunday at 10. Half the congregation was drunk. Hawa kina senator walikuwa wanaangalia chini kwa sababu ya aibu. So kuuliza, all the station commanders wako na mabaa, wanachukua protection fee. So hii shida hawezi isha. President kaniuliza, sasa hii nchi, am I the president of this country? Nikamwambia, your excellency, ni wewe president. Akaniuliza, na deputy ni nani? Nikanyamaza. With the shame and embarrassment. I was so embarrassed. How? So what we are saying, we have come here today to saidiane. Na hakuna mtu wako na ubaya na mtu mwingine. We want a new beginning. We know you are badly deployed. The government that was there did not care about the state of the citizens. They did not care whether people are drunk or not. In any case, most of those people were also drunk, so there was no problem. We have a new government that is saying we must have a sober society for our development and for orderly stay in society. And this new government is saying kuliko tuumizane, tusugumuse, tukubaliane. Because hii serikali ya William Ruto ni serikali ya mazungumuzo and engagement. I've come to engage you on behalf of the president. How do we stay together? Please understand us. Hatuna ubaya. Tunataka tu watu wazuri, na hatutaki ulevi ya kupindukia, na hatutaki vijana wetu wakufe. We need them because we don't want to have widows and orphans. And I don't think we are wrong. I think we are good people. Na hatuna ubaya na mtu yeyote. Tunataka kusema our county commissioners, our DCC, muende muite machifu wenu, mukubaliane, wapeane list yote ya ile watu wanauza bangi kwa sababu wanawajua. Wapeane list ya ile wote wanapika pombe haramu. Wale wote wanatumia license establishment kuuza sumu, wapatie jinyi hiyo list. Wewe uita kamati yako ufanye kazi. Hiyo watu washikwe, wapelekwe kotini. DPP, they are here, they are represented. We are sitting with them. Tulikubaliana how we work together. We are not asking for too much. Jana kwa sababu mimi niko na marafiki, mtu Naivasha ameniletea list yote, nitapatia watu ya Naivasha. Mwende muifanyie kazi kuanzia saa 10 mkirudi. Nitamsaidia na hiyo list. Najua mimi na president, because of being hustlers, I know we are not very popular with you because we talk to people who you lead directly. So tunajua mambo mingi ile naendelea. Hata mkitudanganya mmefanya, tunaambiwa. So tunachukua masimu, tunakuwa watu tunapigia. Iko kijana alinitafuta jana kutoka Naivasha, akameniletea list. Kaniambia hii watu yote ndio wameharibu Naivasha, na wanalidwa na USPD, wanalidwa na OCS, wanalidwa na DCC, lakini hakuna vita. If I give you that list, muende muachana na hao. Muaruke sasa, mkuje pande yetu. Sababu sasa unajua msipoaruka sisi tutaruka nyinyi na hamtakuwa huko. So you will not be of use to them. And by the way, there is a saying, crown ni mabati. Unaikulia tu saa ile iko pale. Ikitoka si useless. Hiyo watu wote wanahonga nyinyi. Saa ile tunakutoa, hiyo laini nakata immediately. Sasa mshahara imekata na hiyo line imekata. So why don't you have your salary which is more sustainable and more definite? In any case, good people, mimi nitetea nyinyi wakati ya campaign kwa president. Tulipoingia, profesa ameweka kamati ya task force inaongozwa na Justice Maraga. Hivi karibuni mambo yenu iko sawa. We are going to give you good salaries and good allowances. Na tuliuliza raia, mnataka polisi wapewe kitu kikubwa ama kidogo? Wakasema wapewe kitu kikubwa. Raia wanasema mpewe. Lakini hamwezi kula kikubwa na mkule kidogo at the same time. You have to go for one. Situkubaliane. So kikubwa mtapata na nyinyi mwachana na hii kidogo. And hii kitu kidogo is not sustainable. It's short-lived. It's not sustainable. Why don't you have something that is sustainable and keep your job and take care of your family? So ma DCC muite ma chiefs yenu na assistant chiefs wapatie nyinyi ma list, muanzane na kazi within 2-3 weeks. Ipombe ishe. We are coming with the president for 2 weeks in this region, and one of the ways to judge your performance, tukikuta hata mlevi moja tu kwa mkutano yako, kazi yako inaishia hapo on the spot, hapo. Na nimemwambia put your notice. Najua mimi ni mtu naibia nyinyi siri kwa sababu I was one of you. Tutakuja tukikuta mlevi moja kwa mkutano 1 at 10 am vile DIG amesema na nilisema na ikarudiwa sana kwa radio. The government policy is very simple. In allocation, the chief and illicit brew and bangi cannot coexist. Since bangi and alcohol cannot make a decision, the person to make the choice is the chief. Ni nani atakaa na nani ataondoka. If I was a chief, mimi ningesema pombe iondoke ndio nikae. But I'm not a chief, so I don't have a say in that matter. OCS in your area, the same. Mwede mfanye kazi. Let us talk to our governors here. Pia governors, sitaki kusema ni nyinyi kwa sababu mmekuja juzi na sisi. Our governors walituangusha. When the liquor licensing court was being chaired by the DC, na watu ya nakada na nini, the kind of bars we have seen being licensed by county governments, it was not possible. Governors have licensed every small building in a trading center into bar and restaurant. Ukweli ama uongo? And these officers are complaining, and they are right. Now, bar and restaurant, when I used to drink, and I have not forgotten because it's about 10 years ago, bar and restaurant is that huge place with a big hotel na marumu ya kulala na nini. Sasa ukilala hapo unaweza kunywa kitu, unaweza kukula, so inafunguliwa throughout because you eat and unateremusha moja ya kusiaga chakula, which is okay. This is fine. Kama ni wine chupa 1 glass or 2, which is okay, you know. Now governors nyinyi, my people, Susan, in every small trading center there are 10 shops. One is a shop, another one is a hotel, the third one is a butchery. 7 are bars, bar and restaurant, selling during the day, during the night. To make it bar and restaurant, wanaweka mtura pale nje, hapo nje inachomwa hapo, ati hiyo ni bar and restaurant. Sasa please I think governors mumetuangusha. I know you are not there. Please, I will have another meeting with all the county assemblies. That's what we did in Central Kenya, and it is working. We called the 5 county assemblies to harmonize the laws and to make it difficult to license bar and restaurant, to make it difficult for wines and spirits, because wines and spirit is another weakness. So I'll be calling all the county assemblies with the governors to kubaliane, we harmonize the laws, and we make it almost impossible to have bar and restaurant. Bar and restaurant should not be more than 2 in a big town. In these small towns, what are you having bar and restaurant for? For who? For who? When tulikuwa sisi watoto wadogo in the 70s and the 80s, Taska ilikuwa naitwa baada ya kazi. Sasa imebadilika, I said baada ya kazi ni badala ya. Because surely if we go back to the old ways, bars open at 5 p.m. They close at 11 p.m. Even if umekunywa chupa 10, between 11:30 p.m. and morning, you'll have been sober. Utakuwa supu kidogo na pilipili, unaenda kazi. Lakini sasa hii yote is open throughout. Even these police officers, they are human beings. Si hata hawa wanaangukia hiyo mtego. Because it's also very tempting. So we are asking our governors to agree. I'm requesting them to agree. We change the law. We get the liquor license in court so that they are also members from the National Police Service. They are members from the National Government Administration. They are members from NACADA. They are members from the religious community. And we license bars once a year. Vile likuwa zamani. Once imefungwa, maneno imeisha. Sasa, what is happening in the counties? As they are looking for revenue, a receipt serves as a license. Unakata application fee, unaenda kuuza. That is how every establishment is a bar. And that these officers are also having a challenge. How do you enter into a licensed establishment? They have a hard cap. I think governors tutakubaliana, tusikizane. The other request I would like to make to the county governments to consider, na nyinyi watu ya kwanza wale hapa hamuna namna, because nyinyi ni wetu, mtafanya vile tunasema. Hata kama tunaomba nyinyi, tutamwambia pia mkubali hii pesa ya pombe, the revenue from pombe, mkubali we dedicate that amount, some to NACADA and others to rehabilitation centers, because it's a sin tax. We use it to fix sin. Tuachane na mambo ya barabara na mambo ya because why we have a problem, because we are requesting you to have a rehabilitation center in every county, fully fledged with everything. We are asking you to consider the drug addicts mwalipie NHIF waende rehabilitation. We are asking you to consider the revenue you get from licensing bars, mukubali itusaidie to save the people you lead. Give a certain percentage to NACADA, who are doing a very good job, but they have no funding. The rest you dedicate it fully within the county to have rehabilitation centers and to assist in checking addiction and dealing with it. Si hiyo magavana watakuwa wametusaidia? Watakuwa wametusaidia. Kwa sababu tusaidiane. Na vile Arama amesema, because I think he is also very honest. From a selfish point of view, the way Arama was, and I'm also selfish, and you governors also must be selfish. Hii vijana yote wakikufa, tutachaguliwa na nani? Who will elect us? Na sisi, from Kenya Kwanza, hii pombe is in our backyard. Our strongholds, Mount Kenya and Rift Valley. Ndio tumewezwa. Sasa, nyinyi magavana mkilicense kila mtu, hii vijana yote wapotee kwa pombe, walale kwa mtaro, wahame kwa kitanda, walala chini instead ya kulala juu. Sasa sisi watoto watatoka wapi? Hii CD mnaendesha magavana, watoto watatoka wapi? William Ruto na mimi tutachaguliwa na nani? Na mimi unajua hii kazi, I didn't need it, I didn't need this job also. So please, mnisaidie pia. Mkijisaidia mtusaidie. Yeah, so what we are saying is simple. We are announcing the crackdown starts today, and we have agreed. Let everybody do his work. I know commanders mtapewa nafasi hapa muongee. The ones from Central Kenya, they had challenges with the Office of the Director of Prosecution. We had a meeting with the Nurin Haji and his staff, and we solved, and I'm told things are working very well. So if there are challenges, we should sort them out. If there are challenges on transport, you should say. But the whole thing must start with change of attitude that alcohol and bangi officers cannot be a source of income. Na pia nyinyi si ni wazazi. You are also parents. I want to challenge you officers as parents. When your child leaves home, do you know where they go? Hii bangi mnakubalia. Ujui pahali itapatana na mtoto wako wewe mwenyewe. Hii pombe hii mnachukua hongo inauzwa ile mbaya. Itapatana na dada yako na ndugu yako na mtoto wako. You should also have a responsibility as parents. And that is also what I told the DPP officers. Much as you want procedures, mjue nyinyi pia ni wazazi. This is a problem for everybody, tusaidiane. Let us help each other so that we can make progress. But otherwise, we want to support you. Na msijali. Iko prison officer alipiga chief huko Thika jana juzi, tumesema akabiliano na yeye kwa sababu ati anasimamisha pombe. Yeye anasema hawezi kuacha pombe. Officer ya prison na kupiga chief kofi. Anasema pombe na kunywa ili kiharibu mwili ni yako. Those of you who are taken to court by doing a good job, the few who are not, please align. Wacha tufanye kazi. I want to reiterate what our CS Interior has said. These proscribed criminal gangs I want to speak for the revival of those gangs and will not be allowed. It is not. Is responsible for murder, to advance using other people's. And I've said we leave you to God because what you are doing is wrong. These are children of other women, just like your own. Why do you want to set them up? And you know the consequences of the activities. You know it cannot be allowed. You are simply setting them up. I really want to talk to our children. I want to talk to our parents. Please, don't let those people set your children against government, because it will not work. Because there is no way we can allow that gang to come and rape our girls, to come and defile our children, to come and extort money from matatu operators. We cannot allow it. And therefore, if you allow your child to be misled, I'm sorry, but that is the truth. And lazima tuambiane ukweli. So officers, what we saw there at DCI Bwana Kanja, that thing must never happen again in this country. It cannot. It is the impunity of the highest order. It's the impunity of the highest order. Na kudharau wa Kenya and what they stand for. And these people think that we have forgotten. They think we have forgotten what those people did to our women, what they did to our children, what they did to our business people. We have not forgotten. Why are they reminding us? The wood is still raw. Why are they rubbing salt into it? So wewe tafadhali, tunakuomba uende upumzike. Wachana na hii watoto wetu. Wachana na hii watoto wetu. Hao watoto ni wetu na tunawapenda. Don't take advantage that they are jobless. Don't take advantage that they are frustrated. Allow us, allow the president and us to build houses, wapate kibarua waende wakafanya kazi. Tukubalie nafasi tupange biashara ya hawa vijana. Tukubalie nafasi waende kwa NYS. Give us a chance. Allow us a chance to see what we can do with it.